First, a little background of prior to my enlistment in 1957. Being born in Illinois, I lived in north central Illinois the first 19 years of my life. Lived on the farm mostly, just prior to enlistment, I lived with my mother and my stepfather and my brother. We lived in the smallest county of Illinois, which was Putnam County, and I went to the schools there from 4th grade through graduation. I graduated late May of 1957. Worked during the summer, and all my friends went off to college, and I didn't go off to college. So I thought, what am I going to do with my life? Well, I've always been interested in airplanes, modeled airplanes as a kid and had a lot of fun with them, and I enjoyed flying, so I thought, well, I'll just go see the recruiter. Long story short, December the 2nd, 1957, I raised my right hand at the recruiting center in Chicago, Illinois, and entered into the United States Air Force. They flew me from there to San Antonio, Texas. First time I'd ever been in Texas. We arrived at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, oh, after being up all day the day before, I'm going to get me some sleep. Wrong. 5 o'clock, they rushed us through the dining hall for breakfast and straight off to processing. I spent 4 weeks at Lackland Air Force Base taking Phase 1 of basic training. And because of the testing they did on me, they determined that I was suitable for schooling in tech school and electronics school. And so between Christmas and New Year's, they bused me to Biloxi, Mississippi, a tech training base at Keesler Air Force Base. Spent a year there completing my schooling as an air traffic control radar maintenance technician. And after completing a year of schooling, I was sent to El Paso, Texas, Biggs Air Force Base, where I really got introduced to the real Air Force, the day-to-day work Air Force. I worked and repaired radar sets that air traffic controllers used to guide the Air Force airplanes to the runways during training exercises and inclement weather. I served there for 4 years and re-enlisted, and I went to Okinawa, Japan in 1962 as a newly married young man. And I spent 4 years on Okinawa. My wife joined me there about 7 months into 1962. We had a wonderful experience at Naha Air Force Base. Many military friends that we made there, a good working experience. We had the opportunity to see other cultures, not only the ones in Okinawa and the Japanese. We got to visit the mainland. We went to Hong Kong and got to stand on the Chinese Communist border and look over into there in 1964. So we had a very interesting experience, myself being active duty and my wife being with me. Our first child was born there. In 1966, we came back to the States, and I went to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. Spent about 6 months there, and then I got out and came to Fort Worth, Texas. And my wife went into school teaching, and I worked at a few different jobs to see where I was going to fit into the civilian economy. And after we got pregnant with our second child, my wife wanted to not work for the first 5 years, so I needed to make more income, and I got word that the United States Air Force was considering taking back prior service individuals in certain career fields, and they did not lose their rank, only their time and grade. So I checked with the local recruiter. Sure enough, within 2 weeks, I was back in the United States Air Force, stationed at Carswell Air Force Base here in Fort Worth, Texas. And spent 1 year here, and then I got orders to go to Thailand. The Vietnam conflict was in full swing at that time, and my job as an air traffic controller was not in combat. I didn't see any combat or wasn't exposed to any combat, but was in a support role for those who were. In November of 1972, I shipped out from Fort Worth to Nakhon Phanom Royal Thai Air Force Base in Thailand. And it was a year's tour there. And my job was the same as it was anywhere else. I was an air traffic control radar maintenance technician.